Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to part 4 of Professor Victor Singingeagle's brilliant lectures on literature in his class at Sisseton Wahpeton College, Native American Literature. And now, without any further ado, here is your host, Professor Victor Singingeagle. Yay! Back to the saddle. We were last discussing, I guess this is part 4. I've already lost count. I think we're part 4, but we were discussing this idea of what is literature. And I was saying there is a little bit of a headbutting going on between East and West. I don't even like that term, East and West. What does it even mean? Well, I'm just going to say native and non-native, or Washichu and natives. What constitutes literature, and even more so, what constitutes good literature. But we'll get into that. Let's focus. Here are my notes, which I will post later. I was telling you that the crusty old professors in Europe, I guess we could say, have defined literature as written works, especially those considered superior or having lasting artistic merit, right? Yeah, we talked about that. And it's from the Latin literare, meaning letters or things made from letters. But is there anything wrong with this definition? Well, we just read from Daniel Heath Justice. He pretty much handed it to us on a silver platter, did he not? Yes, he did. The problem is this is a subjective term, just like the term culture. How do we define culture? You also know I have I should back up and slow down a little bit. You guys know that I have a PhD in Native American literature from the University of South Dakota, but I also have another PhD in Native American cultural anthropology from the University of Oklahoma. We don't have time to talk about that. I'm not bragging and shining my halo. No! What I'm doing is I'm trying to explain how the stories and the culture and the language are oftentimes braided together. So, when we look at how to define literature, it's nebulous. It's like trying to define what is culture or even what is love. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Nope, I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to dance. I got to stay focused. Right. So, Ezra Pound says that literature is news that stays news. S. Shrangare says it is the distilled essence of life. Oh, I like that. That sounds better. And then the Chinese philosopher says, his name is Dong Qi Chang. Literature are words that stand the test of time, rivaling the creator in marvelousness. Yeah, we can do all of that. But I want to get back to culture for a second. Professor Don Brown from University of California, Santa Barbara, he says that culture, which is related to literature, he defines it as patterns of shared behavior, including symbols, stories, art, and materials which are taught, learned, and passed down from generation to generation, enabling people to live in given societies and adapt to their respective environments. Okay, patterns of shared behavior which are passed down from generation to generation, enabling them to live in their respective environments. I kind of like that. If you ever look up a woman, I forgot what her name is, she's a feminist anthropologist. She's got a different definition. I'm not going to get into it too heavy, but she says that all cultures in the world, including natives, subjugate women. I forget what her name is, but Paula Gunn Allen really took her to task on that. She says, no, you guys subjugate women, and it's the way you look, how you define culture. That's why you think we subjugate our women the way you subjugate your women. No, You guys think that culture is all human effort to subjugate and control nature, whereas we natives, we look at all human effort to live in harmony with nature. Now, we're going to focus this in the literature aspect in a second. I just want to jump over to my own definition, because now I am going to shine my halo a little bit. My definition of culture is as follows. All human effort to define, create, imitate, embrace, celebrate, hoard, fight over, and bequeath that which is good. Now remember that word good, because we're trying to define it too. All human effort to define, create, imitate, embrace, celebrate. Could be dancing, could be ceremony, hoard, which we often do, fight over, and bequeath, that just means pass down to next generation, that which we consider to be good, including our stories and our language. That's how those tie together and braid together. My big hobby horse in this class, again, is this idea of opening up the canons. Because far too long, those of us who've ever taken a literature class, and remember, I was one of 149 Native American students at the University of California at Santa Barbara, 32,000 students, and only 149 Indians. And I was probably the only native in the English department, in the undergraduate division at the time, back in the 80s. And boy, they never let me forget it. So yeah, this idea of opening up the canons is going to appeal to me, because I used to say, all we ever learn about is 21 dead white men and Emily Dickinson. What about Sherman Alexie? Or what about Paula Gunn Allen? What about all these famous Native writers, or even African American, the Nobel Peace Prize winner Toni Morrison, and all these great writers, and we're just doing 21 dead white men and Emily Dickinson. Don't get me started, because I'll never shut up. So, with that being said, we're going to change the channel. Remember, I want you to answer this question. Please go to e-learning, click on it, on where it says please answer. This is a forum, and you can read, it says post your answer to this question. Don't be lazy. Don't give me a single sentence answer. Put some serious thought into it. For more points, compare your answer before and after reading what Daniel Heath Justice, or even listening to what Singingeagle says, and hit add a new discussion topic. Get some points for doing that. Now, we're going to change the channel again. I'm going to pull this up because this is our first look at ancient Native literature. You got to understand, as I try to do this, man, we're already up to 8 minutes. I thought I was going to finish early. Doggone it. All right, quick. Popol Vuh. What is the Popol Vuh? Popol Vuh is the ancient Mayan story of creation. Now, you got to remember, I'm talking really fast because I'm worried, because we're 8 minutes, past 8 minutes, probably 9 minutes. You can look it up. I'll have it embedded in e-learning. But what you got to keep in mind is that when the Spanish conquistadores arrived in Mesoamerica, one of the first things they did was kill as many men as possible and rape as many women as possible, but they also burned our books. The ancient Mesoamericans had libraries, huge libraries, and the books folded like accordion way, and you could open it up this way and then turn it around and read it the other way. Long story, won't have enough time to talk about it now, but one book that survived, because remember, the Spaniards heaped up all the books in this big pile and set them on fire, says it's the work of the devil. But one book escaped. That is the Popol Vuh, the creation myth of the Mayans. And somebody made a lovely illustrated story. When you watch this video, keep in mind that it's really old. The video was produced way back. It says 5 years ago, but actually I saw this when I was in my 20s. So that tells you how old it is. The quality's not so good. Plus, it's told in a really ceremonial way. If you're used to the way Westerners tell stories, you're going to get bored. Or if you're bored easily and you have ADHD like me, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or kick back and maybe play pocket frogs or something and listen out of one ear and play your video game on your phone out of the other, or whatever eyeball, one eyeball, whatever. Just have a look and you'll see what I mean by ceremonial quality, and it's something that we're not used to normally. So with that being said, I'm going to knock it off because it's probably already 12 minutes. Nope, 10 minutes and 34 seconds. Thank you so much for being so kind and so patient with me. You guys have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.